Hello and welcome to another Magic 2015 gameplay. Today we are taking a look at a Polymorph deck, which is pretty spicy. So we are trying to use the card Jalira Polymorphist to get giant creatures into play way earlier than you're supposed to. And it's also just a card advantage engine at some point. And if you read her carefully, you'll notice that you cannot put a legendary creatures into play, so that does change the deck construction quite a bit. So unfortunately Kozilek is a legendary creature, so we can't get him with Jalira, but there's this new addition from the latest DLC, Darksteel Colossus, that does a pretty good job at resembling Kozilek, and he is not legendary, so we can reveal him as early as turn 5 and attack on turn 6. So that's pretty sweet if we can make that happen. And basically, since Jalira does not reveal legendary permanents, she will not reveal herself. And then we can still include some powerful legendary creatures like Talrand Sky Summoner or like Brima's King of Oreskos, which we just want to cast on turn 3 and turn 4, but not necessarily want to reveal to Jalira, so we can freely include those. And then our only other creatures in the deck are Baneslayer Angel, which we will not be sad about if we reveal it to the Jalira. And we also have Captain of the Watch, which makes some soldier tokens that we can then sacrifice to the Jalira once again to keep searching for more creatures. And if you happen to chain two of them together, they do become quite scary, pumping all those soldier tokens. And now you might be wondering, how do we have enough creatures to sacrifice to the Jalira in the first place, because we do need those. And the answer is simple. We just include some token generators, like a Raise the Alarm, which is not a creature but does make creature tokens. So we can sacrifice those creature tokens to the Jalira to search up those Baneslayer Angels, Captain of the Watches, or Darksteel Colossus. And then basically we've slotted this entire engine in a blue-white control deck. So we've got a Cloud Shift here to protect our creatures. Also works nicely with Captain of the Watch, so that's why we included it over something like God's Willing. We've got Reprisal to have a nice little removal spell for big creatures. Then the Raise the Alarm, which is very important. Brima's also makes creature tokens that we can sacrifice to Jalira, and is just a very powerful card. We've got the Baneslayer Angel, which is good on turn 5, or if we reveal it to the Polymorphist. We've got Angelic Edict to deal with problematic creatures or enchantments. We've got the Captain of the Watch, also just a nice card on turn 6, and pretty good if we reveal it to the Jalira, since it gives us more fuel. We've got Planar Cleansing if we need a reset button. Vapor Snag as a nice little bounce spell. Very good against enchantment style decks that try to play a lot of auras. Think Twice for card draw. Negate for non-creatures. Nullify for creatures. Then Dissolve as an all-purpose counterspell. Talrand is pretty good in this deck as well, because we are playing a lot of instants and sorceries, and also generates tokens, which we can then sacrifice to Jalira. Then Jalira herself, which is the centerpiece of the deck, and then Inspiration for even more card draw, and then Darksteel Colossus. So the deck works even without the Jalira, but it's obviously cool if we can make this happen. And on the mana base, we are playing 4 Azorius Guildgate plus 3 Arcane Sanctum to make sure we have double blue and double white, or triple white even, and then 9 islands and 8 plains. Alright, let's see how the deck performs. Okay, let's take a look here. This hand looks decent. We have a Dissolve on 3 and then Inspiration for some more card draw. And it's good to have a decent amount of lands. That's not a great draw. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to discard this guy to get him back into our library. So once we draw him, we will not be revealing it to Jalira, unfortunately. So left in the deck are one Captain of the Watch and a Baneslayer Angel that we could still reveal to Jalira. But otherwise this looks like a game where we're just gonna cast a Captain of the Watch and go from there. Well, there's his second Captain of the Watch. So in a way it's kind of unlucky. I guess in another way we don't mind having it. So hopefully your opponent does not do anything too scary here. Alright, Cultivate. So we'll have Dissolve up next turn to counter a possible big creature. Unless that creature happens to be uncounterable. Gets in for 1. And alright. Let's pass a turn. And then next turn we can go for the Inspiration to keep hitting our land drops. And let's see if the opponent goes for it. Triumph of Ferocity. That's actually pretty problematic, given that we won't have a creature in play for a while. So I don't mind countering this, even though it probably was a bait. Well, we can't really see the card that we're scrying here. I guess I'll keep it on top. Okay, that was weird. So, yeah, opponent probably baited us with the Triumph of Ferocity there, but we have more creature removal in the deck than enchantment removal. And I don't want the opponent drawing too many cards. Alright, so we left the planes on top, which I guess is decent. So we can pass a turn, pretend we have a counterspell in hand, and then just go for an end of turn Inspiration. Which is why having instant speed card draw is so much better than sorcery speed. Well, there's a Garruk's Companion, or a pack leader rather, which will also maybe draw the opponent some cards. But if we draw a Reprisal now, then we can get rid of it. Planar Cleansing will do. So let's play an island and pass a turn, and next turn we can decide if we want to go for Captain of the Watch or if we need to clear the board. And 7th land for the opponent. It's gonna be a Nylea's Disciple, which will draw the opponent a card. And anything else? Nope, looks like opponent hitting us for 5. And I think we will have to go for the Planar Cleansing here. I think getting rid of those creatures is pretty good. And I'm going for the Think Twice here, because that's a little more mana efficient than Inspiration at this point. Alright, counter spells are good. So let's just clear the board here. We might actually be able to get up to 11 mana. Who knows? We're halfway there. So hopefully the opponent does not have a big creature this turn. And then next turn we can have our shields up again with Dissolve. Alright. Yeah, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 cards in hand. That's unfortunate. In that case, I don't mind playing a main phase Raise the Alarm, since now we still have Dissolve up, and if the opponent doesn't play anything worth countering, we can still go for an Inspiration. Alright, so we're not in a terrible spot here. That's fine. Anything else? Thinking about it. Nope, then we'll just draw 2 cards. Need to hit some more lands here. Well, that's awkward. That's not great. So we could play out the Jalira, but then we don't have Dissolve up. We could still keep Nullify up, however. So I don't hate that. Let's see. Let's tap correctly here. I guess we wanna leave up the gate as well. I'm doing this wrong. Alright, this should do it. And we can attack with our tokens, or we could leave them as fodder for the Jalira. And I think I'm okay with leaving them be for the moment. We have to discard, and actually we can discard the Darksteel Colossus here. I did not think about that. So it will... Wait, what happened? Alright, so it got shuffled into our deck because that's what Colossus does. Okay, that's fine. Opponent kills a token rather than the Jalira. Maybe has a follow-up. Hunter weak again. Yeah, that's... Wait, still? Okay. That's totally fine. Is he going to attack? He's not. Alright, so now we do need some tokens to sacrifice to Jalira, because now our Darksteel Colossus is back into our library. Let's see. Still not drawing any lands. Opponent has 2 cards left in hand. We have 8 cards ourselves. Given that we have a planar cleansing in hand, I don't mind stepping out for a Captain of the Watch here. And hopefully our opponent does not remove the Jalira here. Not attacking. And if he resolves something super scary, then we can still hit the planar cleansing button. Prey upon, I'm guessing on Captain of the Watch. Yep. So the opponent's not really valuing the Jalira, which might be a mistake. Okay, Arbor Colossus. If we happen to reveal Baneslayer Angel, that Arbor Colossus could be a problem. But let's see here. Still no land. We did hit a Raise the Alarm. We can do this at instant speed, which is what I'm going to do. So we can just pass the turn here, I think. Which pains me, because we will have to discard yet again. Not attacking. And I think I'll discard a Think Twice here, since that still has flashback at the very least. Alright, Cultivate's fine. Alright, opponent has 6 mana, which is still enough to go for the Monstrosity. Never mind that. Okay, that's totally fine. Not worth countering. Opponent attacks. No, he doesn't. Okay, let's start by sacrificing a token. That's fine. And we revealed Darksteel Colossus. Alright. Okay, there we go. And now we can flashback Think Twice. So the good news is that we have an indestructible 11/11 Trampler in play. The bad news is our opponent has an Arbor Colossus in play. We could just planar cleansing here, get rid of all our creatures except for Darksteel Colossus. Or we could look for a removal spell for the Arbor Colossus. Don't hate the planar cleansing plan either, although we could still get a Baneslayer out of the deal here. You know what, I think I will go for the inspiration here. Just to see 2 cards and 2 Taurans is not really what we wanted. So I guess I'll just attack here with the Colossus. See if the opponent blocks or not. So we've been drawing not very many lands this game. but I guess having 8 cards in hand worked out for us. So let's pause the turn with Dissolve mana up, discard Talrand, and think twice. And there's something we cannot counter, but we can just go for the Planar Cleansing next turn then. And yeah, I think we just chum block here. We could sacrifice to get a Baneslayer Angel, but I would rather have a Baneslayer in our library than in the graveyard. So let's flashback, hope to hit a land drop. Still no land. Alright, there we go. And I guess we could attack with both. Maybe our opponent doesn't block the Jalira. But I doubt it. Yeah, the Indestructible being better than a Kozilek would be in this spot. So let's just clear the board. And I guess that should have been double blue here. So we tapped wrong, but at least we can still cast a Raise the Alarm. Alright, Triumph of Ferocity is not a problem. And we will be able to kill the opponent on our turn. So a bit of a messy game here, having to discard so many cards. But I think it worked out. So yeah, got to show off a Darksteel Colossus, which is pretty sweet. Alright, let's move on to the next game. Alright, this looks like a keepable hand. Let's lead with an island. And let's see what the opponent brings. Jungle Shrine, okay. Let's play a Plains, so we can either Raise the Alarm or negate. And then next turn probably playing Island to dissolve. Another tapped land. So let's apply some pressure here. Let's play an island, and then the coming turns we can just play tapped lands. Get in for 2. There's an argument for just keeping the Raise the Alarm in hand. I'm gonna negate here since we might just want to counter a creature with the dissolve. There's an argument for keeping the Raise the Alarm in hand until we hit the Jalira, for example. But I think we will be able to do some damage with this early on, that it's worth playing the Raise the Alarm, even if they might get removed or swept away. Countering the Darksteel Ingot, because I think our opponent's trying to play many colors, and if we can deny that, then yeah, you know what, I think we counter this. If we can deny enough of the mana fixing, then our opponent just can't play spells, which works in favor of the Raise the Alarm plan here. Okay, let's play a basic so we can cast Think Twice and flash it back. Pause the turn, hope our opponent does not have another Cultivate of sorts. Looks like a passing of the turn. Although he did still have a land drop. There's a Darksteel Colossus showing up to the party. He looks a little sad. Maybe he's a bit lonely. Alright, yeah. Not an ideal set of draws here, but at least we have a removal spell. Let's see, we have 6 lands, 7, so still pretty far away from actually casting this, which is one of the downsides of including it. Inferno Titan, you say? Well, that's gonna stop our Raise the Alarm plan. Let's get rid of it. Okay. There's another removal spell. So now we're just looking for ways to win the game. Hope our opponent does not have many follow-ups. There's a Cultivate, which we cannot counter. So yeah, the opponent will be able to cast whatever he wants at this point. Alright, there's a Negate, which we could have maybe used last turn. Okay. 4 cards in hand and nothing else. Okay. There's a Captain of the Watch. Yeah, why not? We can also Cloud Shift it should our opponent go for a removal spell, which would be pretty sweet. No end of turn removal spell. Anger of the Gods, yeah, that's unfortunately we cannot counter with Cloud Shift. So that might have been a reason to wait until we could have negated. Alright, Talrand will also do. And now we have Negate plus Cloud Shift for protection. Opponent going for an end of turn Resounding Thunder. And let's, I think, Cloud Shift since we have more targets for a negate. Making a Drake token. And if the opponent plays a big dumb creature that we can Angelic Edict, that would be nice. Hopefully it doesn't have a relevant Enter the Battlefield ability. Ground Assault we will also gladly negate. Let's see if he has another Anger or another removal spell here. Banefire. Alright, that will take care of Talrand, but now at least we have 2 Drake tokens. Opponent has 2 cards left. And plays a Sphere. So far only looks to be 3 colors. Yep, just Junt colors with a lot of fixing. And that's a Plains. Let's play it. In case we need more lands if we hit a card draw spell. So Jalira has not shown up yet. And we're already out of a Captain of the Watch. So still a Baneslayer and another Captain left. Opponent at 8, so a 2-turn clock with these Drake tokens. Let's attack. Opponent at 4 life. Pause the turn. Not too concerned with firing off Think Twice main phase, since it's not like we're gonna need our land drops for the Colossus, since that's pretty far away. Alright, maybe not. Let's see, 8. Well, we could have actually cast it next turn if we played that Think Twice earlier, but we might just be able to win right now. Alright, so we managed to steal a game there with Talrand. So as you can see, the deck can still play fine without the whole Jalira combo. Alright, let's try another game. Alright, this is an easy mulligan. This we can keep. Turn to Raise the Alarm into a Captain of the Watch later in the game. Forest. Let's play the Sanctum, pause the turn. And what's it gonna be? No turn to play. Alright, we can pass with Nullify plus Raise the Alarm. Let's see if we'll need the counterspell here. 3 mana, 3 colors. And it's gonna be a Grazing Gladeheart. Yeah. Given that we have this Raise the Alarm in hand, I would like to attack with these tokens. Even though we are the control deck, given how our hand is shaped, I think we want to counter that. Double Captain of the Watch in hand. So we still have the Baneslayer and the Colossus left in our deck. That's fine. I will just play the Raise, even though we're not attacking with them. We need one more land to get the captains going, and another Raise is fine too. And these soldiers do combine nicely with the captain. Cultivate, so our opponents are ramping up. At least we have the Edict to take care of one big creature. And our opponent is not playing red, so Anger of the Gods will not be an issue. Assistant, okay. I'm tempted to just attack with everyone next turn, trading away a soldier for 3 damage. Although, given that we have the captain in hand, we might just want to wait. Well, if the opponent's gonna force the issue... Yeah, you know what, I'll just take it here, and then attack with all our soldiers next turn. See if our opponent blocks. Alright, that's our 5th land. Not gonna use the Edict on one of these creatures, but I will attack. Could have left back 1 soldier to block the assistant, but if we're going into a damage race, I think we'll have the upper hand with the captain. So I'm actually okay for opponent attacks for 5 here. We'll have to see if he has a big stabilizer, like Palaka Worm maybe. Alright, attacking for only 3. For 5, okay. So we'll go down to 13. But now we'll have an army of vigilant soldiers. 7 mana, 8 mana now. And it's just gonna be a Pride Mate, so opponent likely just a sort of life gain deck in disguise. He milled a Runescar Demon. So yeah, with the Gladeheart he can actually gain some life. Plus Cultivate, that's 2 landfall triggers. But Captain of the Watch is gonna be pretty good here. Opponent thinning his deck. Okay. And next turn should be enough to just take the game. And if our opponent has planar cleansing, then we still have the second captain. So opponent down to 10 life. We have an edict for a big creature. And alright, Genesis Hydra. That's going to be 2 big creatures. But we could still go wide enough here. Alright, there's a spider spawning. So let's see, 4 blockers, then 9. We'll have 9 damage. So not quite enough for lethal. And next turn our opponent can cast... no, he cannot cast. That was revealed with the Hydra, the spider spawning. So it's not in his graveyard. So let's see. I don't hate just edicting away the Hydra, attacking with everyone except for the captain, forcing the blocks. And then next turn we still have the second captain. Alright, it's gonna block everyone, taking 6 down to 4. So spider spawning could be problematic here, as our opponent does have quite a few creatures in the graveyard now, but nothing we cannot overcome with our second captain, or a planar cleansing for that matter. And it looks like our opponent did not find the answer he was looking for. So let's just play the second captain for fun and attack. Alright, double captain, taking another game. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, let's take a look here. We are on the draw. I think this is acceptable. Does need double blue for Torrand and some fodder for the Jalira, but should play out nicely. Opponent playing green. Okay. Is there a turn to play? Yep, there is. Jade Mage. I don't mind Vapor Snagging that actually. That's gonna save us quite a bit of damage. Since we don't have any... Well, now we can counter it. Let's pause the turn. Still only green. It's gonna go for an Elder of Laurels, which we will also happily counter. So our opponent looks to be so far green only, but a deck that's trying to go wide with a bunch of tokens. So let's pause the turn here. We at least hit our land drop so far, and green should not have a lot of removal for the Jalira. So worst case scenario, we can just sacrifice Torrand to Jalira. And let's see what we draw. Okay. I think I lead with Torrand, then go for Inspiration and then play Jalira. We're not under a ton of pressure, so we can take it a little more slowly. And should our opponent have something like Prey Upon, I would rather him killing the Torrand. Alright, Jade Mage, he can make a token. Attacks for 2. Well, no need to do that now, but I guess that's okay. Yep, we go down to 18. Raise the Alarm would probably be our best draw. Let's go for the Inspiration now, I think. Since we can't play the Inspiration and activate the Jalira in the same turn. Alright, there's some good cards. Now we have Cloud Shift for protection. No need to attack. So next turn we play Jalira, turn after we activate her, end of turn, and hopefully get something sweet. Opponent could do a lot of damage now. Timberwatch Elf. This is not an elf. This is an elf. Alright, I guess that's a combo. Attacks. I don't think our opponent actually has a ton of removal, so I actually don't mind cloud shifting here to double block with our Drake tokens. So our opponent has one less elf he can work with, so we take a lot less damage. So trade away one Drake for the Advocate. And another card draw spell, but now I think I will go for the Jalira. And pause the turn. And now we can sacrifice the Drake token instead of Talrand. So hopefully our opponent doesn't have anything scary this turn. Another Advocate. So now we can pump +2/+2. But the token's still not really able to attack. And the opponent has one card left. Okay. Feeling the pressure maybe. Well, I will block. Take one. Opponent could have activated to pump here, but next turn we could have Inspirationed to make an additional token and then use the Jalira anyways. But for some reason our opponent did not use the Timberwatch Elf, maybe just forgot. Alright. Now we can pass the turn with Negate up. Still not attacking, staying on defense here. So we can block and activate. Alright, one card left. Using the Jade Mage. Twice. Alright. Timberwatch Elf coming in seems like a mistake, yep. I don't mind using Inspiration here to make an additional token before blocking. Alright, so we drew a Baneslayer Angel, so we're not gonna reveal that to the Jalira. So we can block there and there. Block, and then before damage, Sacrifice the one that's gonna die. Opponent now remembering to use the Timberwatch Elf, giving this +2/+2. And we hit a Captain of the Watch, which is pretty good. But we all know what we really want to hit now. And that's a Darksteel Colossus. So we don't want to draw it. Think we can get a little bit frisky here with our Drake token. We could play Baneslayer Angel and still activate Jalira, but I think I wanna keep up Negate and raise the alarm. Alright, another elf. Opponent doesn't have any cards left, but still has a Jade Mage here. So if he ever has a Craterhoof Behemoth, we could be dead. And we also have a second Captain of the Watch left, which could be relevant here in combat, but does not go for any attacks. End of turn, let's cast a Raise the Alarm, make a Drake token, and I think even though we do have the second Captain, the Drake token is still more valuable than a Soldier token. So let's go for it, and there's the Darksteel Colossus. Opponent gets to take a look at it. Okay. And let's attack with this guy and these. Soldiers can still stay on defense. And then next turn we can end of turn make a second Captain and just attack for the win. Given that we cannot stop a Craterhoof Behemoth anyways, I think I will also play the Baneslayer Angel for good measure. Maybe an all-out attack was not terrible here, but trading 2 tokens for a Soldier token did not seem worth it. Although we did have the Jalira activation, so maybe we could have just won on the spot there. Well, hopefully our opponent does not top deck a Craterhoof that we gave him basically for free. Doesn't look like it. Alright. Let's get rid of... I guess the Drake token can go now. Another Captain. And that should be enough to take the game here. Alright. Managed to beat the mono green elf deck. I wanna thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this gameplay, and as always, have a nice day.